What random fact could save your life one day? If you are overdosing on illegal substances, you won't get in trouble with the police if you call 911 for help. If there is any flooding in your area, don't take the elevator down into a parking garage. Take the stairs. I was in Houston for a wedding a number of years ago and several people staying at my hotel drowned when they took the elevator down into the garage to retrieve their cars. This is the most terrifying concept I've ever heard. In Australia, if something bites you, do your best to identify it and go to hospital. This goes for stings too, land or sea. We have a pretty good track record of people not dying to venomous creatures. Feathery clouds, technical term cirrus, usually indicate a weather change. Burning a candle inside a closed vehicle like a car or plane, as long as common sense fire prevention is observed and as long as you're in no danger from loss of oxygen, can help stave off hypothermia. Your dog is more likely to attract a bear or cougar, especially a cougar, than it is to repel one. Cougars love to eat dogs. Around here, they'll follow you and your dog, silently, and wait for an opportunity to swoop in and grab the dog. They've plucked dogs from within meters of their owners where I live. Even if you think you have a badass dog, it's no match for a cougar. And badass dogs love to start fights with bears, lose their nerve, and then run back to their owner, with angry bear right behind. If one tourniquet isn't enough, add another. Never remove bandages on a patient if they bleed through. Just continue to add more on top until you can get them to the hospital or doctor. First thing in the morning, birds will fly low and straight to a water source. On the return flight they will stay high and stop frequently to rest. So you can either follow them or go in the opposite direction depending on how they are flying in order to find potable water. If you're drunk or have a drunk friend, make them sleep on their side, never on their back. Checking a text message while driving is a 4.5-second distraction on average. Increases the risk of crashing 23-fold. If you're ever swept away in a river, don't fight the current. You'll exhaust yourself and you won't win. Try to swim diagonally down so you can reach the side instead. Crayons make pretty good fire starters. Me, reading this thread from my couch in the suburbs. Wow, I can't wait to use these tips when I come face to face with a mountain lion or crocodile. For hypothermia, shaking equals sucks but we'll be okay. Keep warm. Silent and falling asleep equals bad. The body is giving up. If a product has the word oxy in it or is ammonia, do not let it come into contact with bleach. If you think your house or apartment is haunted and have been seeing, hearing or feeling a presence, get a carbon monoxide detector. You may be hallucinating and this is potentially lethal. Funny but real. Malaria doesn't always exhibit predictable symptoms. What feels like a cold or the flu could actually be malaria. The symptoms also appear after some time, even up to 4 weeks. So even when you're back from your holiday, in a country with malaria mozzies, you shouldn't ignore what you think is just a common cold. Context: when I got malaria I thought my appendix burst. The disease was the furthest thing on my mind. People rush out the way they came in, especially at events and unfamiliar places. Take note of exits when you go somewhere. Brown coconuts contain oils that cause dehydration, so drink the milk of the green coconuts. However, you can burn the husks of the brown coconuts to repel mosquitoes. You need to chew an aspirin if you take one thinking you are having a heart attack. Dumb question: do they have to be chewable aspirin by design? Or can you just chew regular aspirin? Need to break a car window? Aim for the edges, corners, not the center where the glass is strongest. Was taught this by a friend who is a fireman. Was taught by a stereo salesman. If you're in an enclosed space like a room and smell roasted almonds, but no one is roasting almonds, you need to get out. That's what cyanide smells like. But what if someone is toasting almonds? If you are at the beach on vacation and one day ask yourself where all the water has gone, far beyond normal tide, run. This has actually saved lives in the catastrophic Christmas tsunami of 2004 because someone has paid attention in school. Oh, I've heard that story. Wasn't it a Dutch girl who realized a tsunami was on its way? If you are ever being chased by a polar bear, take off an article of clothing and leave it on the ground as you run away. Polar bears have really bad ADD, and they will thoroughly inspect your dropped clothing before chasing you again. In these instances, your decision is if you want to be mauled to death or to die of hypothermia. The true reason behind this is that when the polar bear eats you if you are naked you won't upset its tummy as much. If you've been lost in the wilderness for days, upon your rescue do not try and down all the food and water in sight. The shock to your system can be fatal. Refeeding syndrome for those curious. If you come across a mountain lion, never turn your back towards them. They won't stalk or attack if they see your eyes face. Not all heart problems come with clear warning signs. There is not always an alarming chest clutch followed by a fall to the floor like you see in movies. Some heart symptoms don't even happen in your chest, and it's not always easy to tell what's going on. Nausea, indigestion, heartburn, stomach pain, shortness of breath, throat or jaw pain can also be signs of a heart attack. To save your kids from being abducted, teach them to yell, "Help! I don't know this," as loud as possible to get everyone attention. If your garage door needs maintenance, leave it to the pros. Garage door springs can kill you if you remove them in the wrong way. Had one of the spring tethers rust away and snap, made the loudest noise that shook the whole house. Springs are dangerous, don't F with them. One of the first signs of a heart attack, that is not often talked about, is a serious upset stomach. The self-Heimlich. If you like eating alone, then people won't help you if you are choking. Place a fist on the top of a chair, and lean onto the fist, then drive your fist towards yourself by thrusting upwards. So I read this as punch yourself or pretend to wank someone off in your chest. Punch, gouge the shark in the eyes or gills, not the nose like everyone thinks. You don't have to pay money on any type of phone to call 911, so don't bother fondling for change if it's a payphone. If you're stranded with your car in a remote area, burn a tire to draw attention. Take tire out of car first. Kangaroos can't jump backwards. You'll thank me one day. One day you'll be out with a friend and a kangaroo will attack and instinctually you'll yell, "Get behind it." It's not funny, but you've learned something. Most bullies are not traditional cowards and will not always back down if you stand up to them. In fact, a lot of them are so overconfident that they will follow through. If you are trapped in a fire in a building, stoop low, the breathable air will be near the floor. You have been visited by the Beppis doggo of good old times. Comment, "Drink well doggo," to get infinite Beppis.